Welcome back, friends of the interwebs. Matt the StarCraft here with Game 3 between coLcatz, our yellow Zerg, and our red Toss, WhiteRa. We saw the first game go to coLcatz, where he built a base in your base and rushed to roaches while taking the gold expansion because WhiteRa cannon rushed his natural, and Katz took that game. Second game, we did see WhiteRa take a game in return where he was able to also, once again, kind of cannon rush a little bit, but it was kind of a feint, didn't really happen. Some good mind games going, and he went right for Stalker Zealots, grabbed a Warp Prism, warped in some Zealots to do a little bit of harass, and really just kind of forced Katz into a situation where he was not comfortable, and then took the game quite handily. So now we're going to see Game 3 here on Tall Dream Altar, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. This is a very, very big map where macro play is pretty much the style you want to go for, as any rushes are going to be delayed and long, so do not be surprised if we see some sort of macro style of play. WhiteRa loves a good macro game now and again, and any Zerg should like a good macro game now and again, especially Katz. He's one of my favorite guys to watch stream. He's a lot of fun. But both these guys are excellent players, and if, you know, I'd say one is better than the other, I definitely give the heads up to WhiteRa. He's just a phenomenal Protoss player, so I'm looking forward to watching both these games. While things are going, guys, I'm still super excited to have power back, and make sure you guys check me out. I do have a Twitter now. You can see me there, Matt the StarCraft. Go find me on Twitter and follow me. I get a lot of updates there, especially, you know, when I'm like out of power. Say Hurricane Irene hits me like recently, and I don't have power for a little while. I make sure I keep you guys updated on what's going on as far as videos go on Twitter, and I actually have a Facebook group going now, Matt the StarCraft. You can follow me there. Make sure you check it out. I will give the links in the descriptions to all of these videos, and we are coming very close to that 200 subscriber mark. So with that 200 subscriber mark, a free Steam game will be given away, maybe even a couple free Steam games, and we'll be announcing the next coaching lesson come that 200 subscriber mark as well. So we'll see what happens then. I'm looking forward to it. In the meanwhile, it does look like WhiteRa is going to be dropping a pylon here. Forge is going to be finishing up, so another cannon rush. It does seem to be a favorite tactic, and it's, you know, people think, oh my god, you're cheesing with cannons, but in fact, what you're doing is just putting some very early pressure on your opponent, forcing them to pull drones from their mineral line, and stops mining time. So even if you have to cancel cannons, like you'll probably have to cancel that one just there, you're still forcing the player to pull their drones and their workers and not really allow them to do much else. So he's going to lose his probe there. Ideally, you don't want that to happen. He has pulled a lot of drones here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 drones here, trying to fight these off, but does look like he's going to allow this to finish. I'm surprised it probably won't get a kill. Ooh, it will get one kill. Will it get two? No, it won't. And then these are going to be finishing up. This one's looking pretty good. This one's going to get one kill as well. So 2 drones drop there. It's going to get 2 kills, and that's going to be it. This one has a kill as well, so looking at 6 workers, it looks like, correct. 6 workers being killed off at the natural, and this pylon's going to be a minor issue just until the Zerglings pop out. It's going to force a very suboptimal mining pattern for this, so going to take a little bit longer to get some minerals to the natural expansion, but either way, doing some damage. Not sure if it was worth the 3 cannons. He did kill 6 workers, so you're looking at 300 minerals, while he did in fact lose about 450 minerals worth of things on top of this pylon, so 550 minerals, but that's not also including the minerals that those drones could have been harvesting as well. So whether it's worth it or not, it depends on how you're looking at it. If we take a look at the unit count, he is substantially ahead of Katz actually, so I'd say it was definitely worth it to let those candidates finish. He's looking quite good. It does look like Katz is going to try the base in your base tactic again, but this time it looks like WhiteRa is a little, you know, more wise to it. He knows it's coming up. You know, dropping this pylon here, not a big deal. He would have dropped it anyway. What this is going to force is him to drop 150 minerals, so let this cannon finish. If, you know, the timing is good, if this cannon is forced to finish, he is going to, you know, it's about 250 minerals right here spent against his 300. Actually a little bit more than that. He's going to be dropping 2 photon cannons here. He wants to make sure this goes down as fast as possible without any of these larvae getting off, but we'll see. He is going to be forcing these 2 cannons. They'll be good on the edge here anyway. In case he does get mutilated, there'll be a little bit of defense. He's going to do a probe transfer in the meanwhile. Also, we take a look over here, see what kind of things we got going on over here. Nothing really, just going into the typical 2 gas. Worker count is looking pretty decent. Katz still significantly behind by about 2. And something you don't notice too often, his queen is actually really late, but you don't too often, people don't know for Zerg, is the building placement. I really like the way he put this right here, the spawning pool, very, very close to the extractor. And what this allows is if the queen pops out and he does get, say, early rush, he can put the queen right here in a hold position, just blocks this ramp off, or this ramp, it blocks this little choke off with the queen, just put it on a hold position, forces them around, the enemy to come around here, and he can just scoot on out of here with his drones. So in a you know, just a very small note to know with building placement. Zerg building placement can be very, very crucial in the early game. So it does look like he's going to be going straight to layer tech. He does know that the expansion is up. The cannons gave it away, so he needs to react one of two ways. He needs to grab a third very, very, very quickly, or he needs to go straight to roach tech. That's pretty much the only two ways to really kind of respond to fast forward expand. And it does look like he is going to be gearing up to take a third, so WhiteRa really looking into taking a very early macro lead against his Zerg opponent, and he's going to be looking alright. He's got a nice tight wall here. If Zerglings slip by, they'll be taken out or severely damaged by this cannon. He does upgrades coming around on the way. He has a 3 more gateways, so going into a 4 gate. So playing very, very macro style oriented play and very tech style oriented play. So very, very fun to watch. As I said, this map really, really feeds well into a macro style oriented game. And it does look like he's going to be taking his third base, dropping a pylon here. These zealots are going to be chilling here, overseeing the operation, make sure the probe does what it's supposed to. And there goes that nexus. And coLcatz is just going to be kind of severely behind. He's caught up pretty much in the work account. He does have a Spire dropping in the back of his natural, so trying to get some early mutas. But the thing about mutas against Protoss is that Stalkers really shut them down. At this point, the mutas are going to be coming very late, and on 2 base, he definitely has his Cyber Core up. You know, he's going to be having Warp Gate finish up soon. And he, you know, coLcatz assumes that he's going on a 2 base style of play, which, as you know, pretty much all he knows, that he can expect that Stalkers are going to be on the field, so pretty much any aggression with that is with mutas is going to need to be in massive amounts of numbers, and he doesn't really have the economy to support that. So he is going to be looking into grabbing his third as well, but WhiteRa is going to be very much ahead, even dropping a few more gateways over here, a couple of cannons just for defense and detection in case there is any burrowed shenanigans going on, and air defense, of course. And it looks like WhiteRa is going to be having observers all over the map, just making sure he has complete tabs on what is going on and where. These Zerglings are really picking out his rocks, and suddenly I'm very, very bored of this game. I'm sorry. And looks like he's going to be trying to snipe this Stalker, and it looks like he's going to get this around, and he doesn't get the kill. Free little kill for coLcatz, and any advantage is a good advantage in my book. So that's good play, good surround by coLcatz. And you know, as far as WhiteRa is concerned, that thing was probably lost anyway. And this Overlord just kind of vacationing over here in the east. This observer is going to get a good look. It is going to know this third is going down, but the third is so late compared to how fast he took his. And it does look like he's going to be going into Dark Shrine if we take a look up there. And now he's going to see it. Nose is up. Knows WhiteRa has a third base, and a 3 base Protoss is so dangerous. And it does have a Warp Prism up. He does have a probe in there. Does he going to expand? Never mind. He is not going to expand. Just wanted to take him over. It was a lazy probe. What do you want? So it does look like he's got Robo Base. So for Colossus, is going to be popping out Dark Shrine as well to get some Dark Shrine harass. I like that a lot. Dark Shrine harass, especially in the mid game. If they don't know what's coming, can do so much damage to your workers if you're not prepared for it. He is going to be dropping an Evo Chamber here. Potentially grabbing for upgrades and maybe some Spore Crawlers, see what's going on. Muta's going to be flocking in here. Going to be doing a good amount of harassment. If we take a look at the workers killed, he has killed a lot of workers so far, 12 workers. So those Mutas have done a good amount of damage, definitely doing a good amount of harassment. Keep it tabs. He's going to pick off some pylons here and there. Now he's going to go straight for the gut here. I don't know if this is smart. He's got the Guardian Shield up, so he's not going to be able to do much. Picking off the sentries first smartly, but now he's WhiteRa has been warping in Stalkers all the while, and he's going to be losing a lot of his Mutalisks. You don't want to lose his Mutalisks. They did a lot of damage. They could potentially keep WhiteRa really pinned in his base, but no, it does look like he sacrificed most of his Mutalisks down to 4. 3 of them are actually very hurt, so those Mutalisks did a good amount of damage, but in turn he lost a lot of them. And if we take a look at the unit tab, WhiteRa is still significantly ahead in the worker count, and he has killed 13 workers in total. Having this third base is going to end up paying great dividends for WhiteRa here, and he is going to be picking off, looks like I'm not sure what was going on over here, but he did catch an Immortal out of place with a couple of Zealots, and now the Stalkers have come up and save that Immortal. Definitely want to save that Immortal. Even still, it saves the Zealots over here. Picking off, I heard one of the Mutalisks go pop, and looks like he's going to be just fine. Again, once the Stalkers are out, they're going to be just dandy. And going over to the production tab, Blink is on the way, as well as Pathogen Gland. So it does look like Infestor play is going to be Katz's motive here. Grabbing his 4th, knowing he needs to grab it a little bit late on the 4th, but it's because his work account does not allow for a 4th right now. He hasn't the substantial ability to grab a 4th, and really what he's trying to do here is just try to pressure WhiteRa just to really make sure he can keep him under control. Again, a Protoss on 3 bases is so dangerous, so his response, now that he knows that he has 3 bases and that he's pretty much on equal footing as far as base is concerned, Katz needs to do damage, so he's just going to fly his Mutalisks around. I would highly doubt we'll see any more Mutalisks join this flock. These guys will probably be the last of them. They're going to try to keep map control, check for any more proxy bases or any more expansions near the main, and just kind of trying to do her poke in and out harassment when they can, but the Photon Cannons are going to be up. He's going to try and pick off this Photon Cannon before these Stalkers come out, and actually try to pick off the Stalkers as well, smartly blinking the rest of the Stalkers out, try to regroup with the rest of them as the big chunk of them are going to come. He's going to try to pick off a few more, but sadly the rest of them join the group, picking off a few more Mutalisks, as these Mutalisks are so expensive, and even in the whole while it looks like Dark Templar in here, but Katz prepared, has the Spore Crawler, Spine Crawler combo just to make sure those Dark Templar don't do any damage, so sadly is going to be warded away, going to moving these guys out. Still though, these guys can be quite useful in this game as they are able to just kind of go around the map and just keep tabs on where the bases are, pick off any kind of wandering units. And now again, Katz is going to go in and try to harass the worker line, picking off the weak ones smartly, going to try to pick off a free pylon here. The attack of and there they go, sorry. And I say, it looks like they're actually focusing down the simulator, which is bizarre. Maybe trying to delay that gas just a little bit, but those Stalkers were going to come in and stop them. And now this 4th is up. It does have that Spore Crawler, Spine Crawler. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in every single base. Yes, it does look like there's at least a Spore Crawler in each one, as he does know that those Dark Templar are out on the field. Now Zergling's going to be flying back to the natural, and the creep spread of Katz is just kind of sad. There is not a lot of creep spread. You want a lot of creep spread for the mobility, for your units, and for the vision of the map. I'm curious why his playstyle is not one of high creep spread. And now the Dark Templar are going to be taken out just there. If we take a look at the work account, has he gotten many? No. But he has killed 25. Katz, that is, has killed 25. And now he's going to be going for this very, very vulnerable 3rd base, or I should say 4th base here. Going to be poking and focusing down that Spine Crawler just so it doesn't do any more damage. And now we're going to be going straight for that natural. It's not natural, it's a 4th. Oh, I'm tired. Killing off the Queen, going straight for the workers. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is. Free of the few Zerglings free. Mortal going to be joining the group here. I'm super excited for the upgrade come the next patch, by the way. The Immortals range is going to be increased by 1, so they won't have to join the front line. And I like how he damages it just barely at the end, and then, of course, lets the Zealots finish it off while he goes back, because there's a big counterattack of Zerglings. So it sounds like there was some death of some Dark Templar, the fungal growths probably, but that base wasn't even up yet, and now these Stalkers are going to intercept here, going to pick off whatever they can. Infestors, Mutalisks, going to force Katz back to his base, and he is going to be basically on 3 bases, as this was kind of left to die. Nothing much he can do. These guys are going to be chilling here. He's going to be quickly rebuilding, but he is not. More focused on the now, more focused on the aggression of WhiteRa. And his map control compared to WhiteRa is actually very, very minimal, so he's not really able to know what's going, where his army is. He doesn't have that amount of information, while WhiteRa has a Zealot here and just kind of keep tabs really on what's going on. He's able to expand again and again, and he's going for his 4th, which is ever so dangerous. A 4-basing Protoss. Really, this whole game has been pretty one-sided the whole entire time. WhiteRa seems to just be decimating right now the entire game. Just really kind of keeping Katz contained, under control, really under his thumb, and just been playing the game he wants to play. And this army is getting scarier by the minute. We have a Colossus on the way. We do have somewhere, we have Archons being morphed in. Zealot still patrolling, going to check if this base is going back up. He is going to see it is going back up, so he's probably going to do some harassment there. Moving a lot of his drones over here. It does look like something was happening. Maybe it was a Dark Templar, as there is an Overseer here, and he did have to retreat. He is dropping a Spine Crawler. And it's just going to keep this Overseer here. Ooh, boring. And his mix of units is actually quite... I like his mix. A lot of Infestors, Zerglings, and Roaches, and even Mutalisks in the mix, the leftovers. and the Colossus number is actually starting to grow. We do have a lot. His upgrades are 0-3, while Katz himself is got 1 armor, 2 attacks. So the upgrade is heavily favoring WhiteRa. He can do that upgrading because of how many bases he has. Looking at the worker count, 89 probes to 78, so he's doing damn well. Doesn't have to produce any more probes. Now can spend all that chrono boost on straight units and upgrades. He is going to try and catch all of these guys out of position, but sadly the Colossus Archon Stalker mix is going to meet this army head on. Hopefully the fungals are going to be enough, as the Neural Parasite is not ready, but no, he isn't even using the fungals. He is losing those infestors before they can get any fungals off, and smartly blinking a few stalkers up to try and pick off those infestors well before they get any more fungals. Fungaling the Colossus, which isn't going to do too much, and that battle was pretty much one-sided from the start. Not able to do much. Caught his infestors well before they had Neural Parasite. If he had Neural Parasite, who knows how they could have gone. He could have grabbed these guys and used them. Even Archons as well. So now WhiteRa's feeling comfortable enough to push out. He's going to be heading to the middle of the map. And all he's got out here is a few Overseers and Overlords just to take a look at what's going on. He's going to lose a few of them. Luckily, he has enough to just handle it, but Roaches are going to be completely caught out of position. They're just going to basically be sacrificial. And now he's going to be pushing over to this very vulnerable base. And a lot of players don't do this, where you know, they're kind of attacking and they know there's a base, and instead of going for the very vulnerable bases and shutting that down for, you know, stopping whatever extra economy they have or unit production they have, they go for the main, they go for the kill, and blinking right on top of those Roaches, very, very nice, and these Immortals are going to do a ton of damage, as well as the Colossus mixed in with those Stalkers, really pushing that army back. So, as I was saying, picking off an exposed, very vulnerable base is a lot of lower league players don't do that enough, because it just does damage and just shuts them up. Why not kill that base? Why not shut down that production and extra unit production and economy? Going to be losing that Colossus there, but still pushing back the Roaches. Zergling's going to be trying to come in here and do some extra damage, but WhiteRa's going to be having reinforcements joining him very, very shortly. He currently is 1-3 with 1 shield on the way, more observers on the way. And he's going to be losing these guys. Oh, these Overlords are pretty much just free kills at this point. 3 Archons are going to be forcing those Roaches back. They need to head home. Losing those Overlords right there. And now Zergling's popping out with more. He is going to be finishing that level 2 armor, so he's going to be 2-2 very, very shortly, but still, WhiteRa's been dictating the flow of the game the entire time. Really just been doing what he wants, and I just don't know if Katz can come back. If you take a look at the bank, WhiteRa has so much money in the bank. He could just throw down 1,000,000 gateways if he wanted to. He's just going to keep pumping on Colossus. He has enough gateways to really support what he wants. And even just kind of just moving around with his army, keeping Katz contained. Katz going to try to go for a counterattack, but all of these cannons is definitely not going to let him do that. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to have to pull them back after losing a few of those Zerglings. This has got to be the safest base in existence ever with all those cannons. And he's even got Dark Templar. Those Dark Templar probably going to be used to be morphed in Archons. As you can take a look here, there's a lot of Archons over here. Zerglings just kind of running back home. Creep spread again. It kills me to see such low creep spread, but Broodlords are now going to be hitting the field. So Katz's big desperate move is to go for the Broodlords. Hopefully that'll be enough. If we take a look at those Broodlings just flying around, it's just so cool looking. But those Broodlords are pretty much his last desperate hope, as he doesn't have much. Has to evacuate the space over here because of 1 Dark Templar. Doesn't want the workers to get killed. And now he's going to be moving on over here with the Zerglings. But if he catches those Zerglings out of position over here with his army, that could be hugely detrimental to his army. Katz needs to make sure he doesn't lose them. Oh, God. No, WhiteRa knows exactly what's going on because of that Dark Templar. He knows where the army is. Going to lose them, and now he knows all those Zerglings are out of place, so he's going to pull back. I'm surprised. If he had caught that army out of position and killed off those Zerglings, that could have been cool, quite nice. But either way, he's going to be pulling on back. Going to be going for a bunch of Archons. Yeah, purely an Archon build. Going to be straight back. These Archons are so nasty. They do 34 and 47 to biological, and well, we all know Zerg armies are primarily biological. WhiteRa just saying, screw it, I have the economy, might as well get an Archon heavy army, and now he's going to be pushing out as he's pretty much maxed with all of those Archons, and this is going to be so scary to come across. Now we'll see how he's able to deal with it. Perhaps these Broodlords will be enough. Maybe these infestors with their Neural Parasite will be able to do a little bit of damage, but you don't want to send these Broodlords out first. If he catches those Broodlords out of position, that's going to be hugely dangerous. Is he going to do it? Oh, does he know? No, he doesn't. He is going to actually have his army over here trying to take out this base. And now it looks like he's gonna be pushing himself. Knows that that his army is over at his 4th base right now. Gonna be sending those broodlords off first. Gonna be grabbing a couple more before he decides to engage. But those broodlords are completely out of position. He needs to pull them back, and unless he blinks right under them and focus fires all those broodlords. Ouch, this is going to hurt. All those broodlords are going to go down. Neuroparasites are jumping across the map, grabbing 1, 2, 3, going straight for the Archons, grabbing 4 of those Archons. And maybe this will be able to turn this half the battle, but no roach reinforcement. And there's the GG well played. Complexity Cats going down to Duckload Raw / WhiteRa once again. So great game. The WhiteRa is up 2-1, and I'll see you guys at game